Hey, it's the announcement guy. I'm out here in the daylight just to remind you that daylight savings time is coming up next Sunday. A lot of people wonder, what do we do with all the daylight that we saved? We're going to cover that next week. Here's what's coming up.
We are offering our new member empowerment class today in person after the 10 a.m. service and tomorrow online. Taking this class is super easy and it orients you to our various offerings and highlights the benefits and rewards of membership. Deepen your commitment to your spiritual growth and development and connect with others as you learn more about Mile High Church. Join me today at 11:30 in the Community Center and tomorrow at 6:30 online. Visit the events page at milehighchurch.org for class details.
You know, when we talk about influences on our teaching, rarely do you hear the name Socrates. But Socrates, the father of philosophy, brings us so much wisdom on how to live our best life today. In my 5-week course, Socrates and the Meaning of Life, we'll be dabbling in ancient Greek philosophy, but in particular, we'll be looking at that value, that virtue that you hold most dear, and we'll make sure that each of us is living a life that is filled with meaning, with love, and with clarity.
Celtic Spirituality is a 4-week class that I'll be facilitating in person on Tuesday nights beginning March 14th. Celtic way of seeing is all about looking at the world with divine eyes. In this class, we're going to explore the illuminated manuscript of the Book of Kells, as well as the monastic traditions of the desert mothers and fathers of Egypt, as well as St. Patrick and the Green Man. I hope you can join me.
Mile High Church is full of wonderful people, and one of the greatest ways to get to know them is by joining a small group. With our Spring Renewal series beginning March 19th, we're launching a new small group program. Go to our website, milehighchurch.org, and sign up for an online or on-campus small group today.
Well, it's the announcement guy. I'm out here saving daylight as much as I can. What I'm hoping for is that when winter comes this year, I'm going to have plenty to fall back on. Have a great week.
Hello, Mile High. Happy Sunday to you all. Now's the time of the service where we get to sing together. So if you want to stand and sing, that would be great. And if you want to remain seated, that's fine too. But I'll start and you echo. How's that? I am a light. I am a light in this world. Perfect in this world. I am a light. I am a light in this world. In this world. This is the place. This is the time. Let it shine. Let it shine. I see the joy. I see the joy in this world. In this world. I see the joy. I see the joy in this world. In this world. This is the place. This is the time. Let it shine. Let it shine. I'm living love every day. I'm living love every day. I'm living love every day. Spreading peace along the way. Right time, right place. Living love every day. We are the light. We are the light in this world. In this world. We are the light. We are the light in this world. In this world. This is the place. This is the time. Let it shine. Let it shine. This is the place. This is the time. Let it shine. Let it shine. One more time. This is the place. This is the time. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Thank you, Jennifer Burnett. Thank you, Mile High Band. They sound wonderful. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Great. We'll go person by person. So grateful to be here this morning with everyone. I hope he doesn't mind me pointing him out. I'm so glad my friend Spencer is here. He hasn't been able to be here for several months. We love you. And whether you're in person here or you're watching online, our sanctuary is always filled with stories. You know, we all have a different story about what brought us here today. Stories of triumph and resilience, stories of heartbreak and of not knowing what the next steps are. Stories of overcoming and incredible possibilities. But when we join here together, even though we've all come from unique paths, we join in affirmation of our unity and oneness, in optimism for a greater today and a greater tomorrow, and in faith in our collective shared humanity. And so when you come here not just for yourself, but I like to think we come here for everybody else out there as well. So thank you for staying in tune with your spiritual practice and joining us today. We love to recite our vision and mission each week. It's coming up on the screens. If you'd like to say it along with me, it goes like this. Our vision: oneness revealed, a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. And our mission: to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. So grateful to have Jennifer Burnett and our Mile High Band with us today, and especially grateful we have our youth choir here performing with us this morning. Let's hear it for them in advance. And where are their parents or caretakers? We just want to acknowledge you and thank you for all of the time that you put into this performance today. So with that, let us join in a collective recognition of unity as we go within, with song, with silence, and with prayer.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
So this morning we turn within into this beautiful container of prayer, opening our hearts to move into that inner sanctuary of love, that place within us where we can listen and feel the heartbeat of the divine. Just feeling that pulsation of God that moves in, through, and all that is. And as we join together this morning in this place of devotion, we recognize and feel the oneness, that thread, that golden thread of truth that moves through all humanity and moves through every faith tradition, both ancient and new. Just recognizing those who are in devotion in a temple this morning, in a synagogue, in a gurdwara, in a cathedral, or in the vast expansiveness of nature. We are all one in spirit. And so I know this morning that any condition, any wound, any hurt, any place of unease is simply let go and absorbed into this vastness, this beautiful essence and presence of the divine that is always present, always available. We just open to that right now, anchoring in that eternal love. Just feeling how any condition of unrest is just dissolved into the one. And I am so grateful. I am so grateful, for I know that this eternal love and this blessing of togetherness moves through our message today, moves through every heart that is gathered here, moves through the beautiful music of the children's choir. For I know that our campus is a beacon of life, a beacon of light, and that this vibration of oneness moves out from our togetherness today into a vaster vibration of service throughout the entire world. And so I say thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for this opportunity to feel and to know and to experience in an ever deeper way every moment the essence of the divine. I release this prayer, allowing that Father, Mother, God within to do the work. And so it is.
I am here to give and receive love. I am here to give and receive. I am here to give and receive love. I am here to give and receive love, love. I am here to give and receive love. I am here to give receive love. I am here to give and receive. I am here to give and receive love. I am here to give and receive. I am here for love.
Some inspiration today from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 13. Love is the root of all virtues, and when we know God's love inside of us, we can then pass on God's love to others. The greatest of all virtues is love. And from Guru Nanak, truth is the highest virtue, but higher still is truthful living. And from Maya Angelou, courage is the most important virtue because without it, no other virtue can be practiced consistently. You can be kind, true and fair and generous and just and even merciful occasionally. However, to be that thing time after time, you have to really have courage.
Shine your light, shine your light. Everybody has a light to shine. Shine your light, shine
I'm glad that stopped because you're going to get a whole dance routine from me. But how about those kids' songs and the choreography? Amazing. Amazing. Good morning, everyone. 2 great classes starting at Mile High in March. On Thursday, I'll start teaching a class called Socrates and the Meaning of Life. I'll talk a little bit more about that in the talk. And the following week, Reverend Zamira is going to be teaching a class on Celtic spirituality. So the next in a wonderful series of interfaith classes. So consider those. Ernest Holmes, our founder, defined religious science as a correlation of laws of science, opinions of philosophy, and revelations of religion applied to human needs and the aspirations of man. Laws of science, all about knowledge. What can we find out about the laws of nature and the laws of mind? Religion, all about learning to identify with a power greater than we are, to connect with it within and to live from it profoundly in our lives. And philosophy, the wisdom on how to live a great life. Not what to think, but how to think. Beware when God lets loose a thinker on this planet, Emerson said, then all things are at risk. And we have a lot of religious influences. All the great founders of great faiths, Jesus and Buddha. But we also have great philosophical influences as well. Perhaps none more profound than Socrates, the father of philosophy, who was declared in ancient Athens as the wisest man by the oracle of Delphi. But he wouldn't have said that. He said, the only reason I might be wise is because I'm the first to admit that I don't know. Not knowing is the beginning of wisdom. And Socrates didn't apply answers, he applied questions. He applied curiosity. The unexamined life is not worth living. And to me, this is all that feeds into our philosophy here of staying open at the top, to always be evolving in our thinking, in our striving. What Jesus is to faith, Socrates is to learning. What Jesus is to the churches all over the United States, Socrates is to universities. That thoughtfulness, that questioning. But he's also an incredible spiritual teacher. Jesus taught that God is a presence of unconditional love, and that God loves you like a caring parent loves their child. And if you can do what is sometimes the hard work of opening your heart to receive that love, and then commit to practicing it towards others, not only do you realize the kingdom of heaven on earth, but you begin to experience your eternal life. That one true life. Socrates believed that it's so important to know and fully understand what your virtues are. Love, peace, integrity, honesty, kindness. Understand them so well that they become as much who you are as your name or the shoes on your feet. Then live from this virtue with clarity, and you will live a great life. And I honestly believe if you take these 2 teachings about receiving the love of God and practicing it towards others, and living your virtues emphatically with clarity and self-inquiry, that you can find a meaning in your life that's byproduct will be the healing, the happiness, the fulfillment, the abundance, and overall well-being. Both Jesus and Socrates challenged the common sense, the practical wisdom of the time. It's amazing how much they actually have in common. But it's so interesting that they're probably the two most revolutionary individuals in all of history, but none of us have ever read a single word either wrote. Jesus we learn through the Gospels, and Socrates we learn mostly through the dialogues of Plato. And they're both revolutionary, and they both challenged the common sense, and they were both murdered for what they taught. Jesus tells of a Pharisee, a respected person in Jewish society, and a tax collector. They were even ribbing tax collectors back then. And the Pharisee is praying, and he says, God, bless me, for I am not like this tax collector over here. And the tax collector says, God, have mercy on me, a flawed human being. And Jesus' teaching is it's through humility. It's through asking and receiving the love of God that our life becomes truly transformed. I think it's a great question in spiritual living to ask yourself, how did I love God today? How did I love God this week? How did I love the sacred? How about it? I had my daughter on my lap on a swing, and we looked up and beheld the majestic sky, and I felt a love for God. I was doing some writing, and I just got to pause and say, thank you, life. Thank you, God. In a moment of silence, of reverence, I got to love God. What is spirituality but learning to love God by loving her creation? Whatever's there to be loved. Perhaps an even more challenging question for spiritual living is, how did you let God love you today? How did you let God love you this week, however it may be? God, I swear, when I had my daughter on my lap and we were looking at that majestic sky and marveled at it, that in its own way it marveled back at us. Someone gave me a compliment on a talk that I gave, and I didn't just dismiss it right away. I received it. I took it to heart. I let the people who love me love me. It sounds simple, but it's the most profound way to change your life, is to live like you are loved. Live like you are the most loved individual there is. Because there is that divine love that when we receive it, to honor Dr. Barry, when our heart can become a catcher's mitt, to receive the divine, it begins to bring harmony and balance and essence into our lives. But that's the question, can you receive that great love and then practice it towards others? This to me is the real metaphysical meaning behind the parable of the prodigal son. The young son who blows his inheritance and leaves home and sleeps with the pigs. He returns broken down, and yet he asks for his father's love, and he receives it. It's the older son, the goody two-shoes son, the self-righteous son, the son who's done everything right, who, it's not that he's not loved by his father, but he rejects himself from receiving that love by falling into judgment, self-righteousness. That's the calling of each of us, to learn to receive a deeper and more profound love so we can practice it in our lives. Jesus teaches us how to love. Socrates teaches us how to think. My favorite dialogue of Plato about Socrates is called Euthyphro. And Socrates, he's in the court, outside a court, because he's about to be put on trial. And he encounters Euthyphro there. And it's a very interesting time there in ancient Athens. Socrates would have 500 people on his jury. Right? That's a lot of Nancy Grace interviews right there. Right? And there weren't lawyers per se. Normal citizens would prosecute the cases. And Socrates says, hey, Euthyphro, what are you doing here? And Euthyphro says, oh, it's actually quite interesting. I'm here to prosecute my own father. You see, Euthyphro's father owned a lot of farming land. And there was someone who worked there who robbed and murdered someone. And so his father, the landowner, had him arrested and tied up with the thought that he would take him to the authorities the next day, and the man died. And so Euthyphro is going to prosecute his father. Why? Socrates asks. Well, because it is the pious thing to do. We've got a little CSU ancient Athens going on here, don't we? Piety. All of the dialogues of Plato just about address a virtue. And so here's this one. It's piety. And Socrates says, you know, you're the perfect person for me to talk to. I'm being tried for corrupting the youth. Way to go, Socrates. And also for not believing in the gods of Athens, for not being pious. So I would love to know, so I can talk about my trial, what piety is. Will you please do me the favor of telling me what piety is? And Euthyphro responds, well, piety is what is pleasing to the gods. Oh, that's wonderful, Euthyphro. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. But hold on. Wait a second. So if piety is what is pleasing to the gods, don't the gods disagree sometimes? You know, Zeus and Hera, they don't always see eye to eye, right? Well, Euthyphro thinks about it and talks more about it, tries to defend his position. Then he comes up with a new definition of piety. That piety is what the gods love. Very good, wonderful definition, Socrates replies. But wait a second. Is something pious because the gods love it? Or do the gods love it because it's pious? Jesus described himself as a fisher of men. Socrates defined himself as a gadfly on a horse's behind. He's like that annoying little mosquito that gets in your ear, you know, and you're like, mosquito, you could be anywhere in this wide universe. Get the heck out of my ear. He's pestering. He doesn't mean to be. He's childlike. He's not lawyerly. He's childlike. He wants to know. And he asks and asks until the person being asked the questions is so broken down, they're so frustrated, they're so annoyed that they run away. This is why he was really put on trial. And if you're reading this in college, you see it kind of humorous. Euthyphro runs away. But when we look at it from a spiritual perspective, it's actually quite heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because Euthyphro has been philosophically gutted. This virtue that he says he values more than anything else, piety, he doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know what it is. And it's a weird thing with virtues. We might say we believe in something, but when we don't know what it is, we're actually doomed to express its opposite. And here is a man who believes in such a superficial piety that he's about to potentially put his own father to death for it. And it speaks to this absence in human nature to inquire about what really matters most to us. What is it? I believe in love, then why am I being a jerk to my spouse? I believe in peace of mind, well, why am I so focused on chaos? I believe in the flag, why am I supporting something that stands against what it represents? It doesn't mean we always have to be perfectly in our virtue, but if we're not willing to stop and inquire about what matters most to us, how are we going to practice it with any sort of clarity? In the Socrates in the Meaning of Life class that I get to teach starting on Thursday, an essential part of the class is everyone chooses a virtue. Everyone chooses a virtue that's important to them, or that they want to learn more about, or that they want to better embody. And it's an amazing spiritual thing about virtue, because I don't think you really choose it. It chooses you. It's an amazing thing to highlight a virtue like love or peace or integrity or authority or confidence, and realize that this virtue is a part of the story of your life, that it's been speaking to you through role models and through challenging circumstances, that your whole life, in a sense, has been an education in this virtue so that you can live it with greater clarity. Sometimes we know exactly what the virtue is. Sometimes it seems alien. We need to grow into it. But by doing that, we grow ourselves. The virtue that I'm choosing for the course has been calling me a lot lately, and it's trust. Trust. What does it mean to live in trust? And for me, to trust is to learn to be who I really am. And one of the places this virtue echoed to me was in reading for our spiritual practices class, the Tao Te Ching, and from Ursula Le Guin's version, she says this: knowing people is intelligence. Knowing yourself is wisdom. Overcoming others takes strength. Overcoming yourself takes greatness. Contentment is wealth. Boldly pushing forward takes resolution. Staying put keeps you in position. To live till you die is to live long enough. And I literally could share for 30 minutes about the amount of meaning that spoke to me in reading this, and I'm just going to take 29. No, just to point out a couple of things. To take that statement, overcoming yourself takes greatness. Overcoming myself takes greatness, because that self that I need to overcome is that part of me that's in fear. That part of me that sometimes falls into control. That part of me that lives in distrust and gets drained. I need to overcome that self so that I can live in a greater way of being who I am. Contentment is wealth. The beginning of living a good life is the capability of being content, and you can't get there without trust. So I've got to stop worrying about the money or the success or the building this or making that happen, and learn perhaps the greatest skill that there is, which is to appreciate the good of your life while it's happening, right here and right now. And lastly, that beautiful statement, to live till you die is to live long enough. Such a statement to me of what it means to live in trust, to release what is not mine to control, and to be that which I'm meant to be a whole person living a whole life. What's that virtue that's calling to you? Anybody? Let's hear a couple. Loyalty, love, integrity, gracious gratitude. Great. Yeah, so you can say these over and over. And it's so interesting with these virtues because they're simple words, but they mean something different to all of us. And it really is my belief that these virtues are our soul. There's the divine expressing out there. And as we learn to embrace these virtues in our hearts and live them with clarity in our lives, they begin to demonstrate for us in incredible ways. Part of what made Jesus and Socrates so profound is that they were true to their virtues. Jesus' virtue is love or forgiveness. That's how you practice the love of God towards others. And besides a few places where he isn't quite able to do it, all the way to the end of his life, on the cross, being murdered. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He doesn't fall victim to the circumstance. He stays true to his virtue. Socrates goes on trial, and he doesn't even really argue the charges that much. He really argues for virtue. And there's 500 people there, and the vote's close to find him guilty. It's like 270 to 230. And he's surprised by that, but the next phase of the trial is the penalty phase. And you better be really conscious about what penalty you propose, because if not, it's death. And so people are hoping that Socrates will request a fine or maybe even exile, which would be an extreme response. And Socrates decides to say that his punishment should be to be put up in one of the finest mansions in town and receive free room and board for the rest of his life. And it's not martyrdom, but he forces the jury to choose death, to choose for him to drink the hemlock. But he's staying true to his virtues, because for him, to not be true to your virtue is a kind of death. It's a worse kind of death because it's sacrificing who you are. Or as Jesus would say, nothing anyone could ever do to you can defile you. It's only what comes from you that can defile you or hurt you. Socrates stays true to his virtue even in confronting death. People talk about death, he says, like it's the greatest curse. But what if it's the greatest blessing? And in some of his final words to his students, "And so I go, you to live and me to die, but which of us is on to better things, God only knows." I encourage you to do the following to increase a sense of virtue and a meaningful life. And the first is to identify your virtue or your virtues. What are those qualities that are most important to you? And are you willing to really embody, learn from them, grow from them? This past July, I was hitting a wall in both my personal and professional life. And what was happening is I was realizing that my way of life was becoming a result of my work, as opposed to my work and my personal life coming from that way of life, which is so important. And so I knew I needed to get back to virtue. And so I sat down and I said, what are the 4 virtues, Josh, you need the most right now? And they were preparation, receptivity, accountability, and composure. Lots and lots of composure. And it was kind of powerful to do that, because it wasn't about changing things in my life. It was about bringing something forth within me that was being called for. And some of you have heard me say this before, but if you feel that there's something missing in your life, it's almost certainly you. It's that quality of being that's being called for so that you can live creatively again, not down to what's happening to you, but responsive from that very cause of your being, which is a transformation agent. Second, learn about your virtues. Learn by asking people you respect about what that virtue means to them. Google your virtue. What have wise people said about it? But most importantly, take your virtue and practice it. Experiment with it in this laboratory of life. My 4 virtues were cool because they spelled prac. And for every day for several months, and now just once a week or so, I sit down and I think, Josh, where do you want to practice preparation most this week? Well, for my Sunday talk. Where do you want to practice receptivity? I want to be more receptive to love. Where do I want to practice accountability? I want to be more accountable to my family. Where do I want to practice better composure in this challenging conversation or wherever it is that it's headed? And there's something so powerful about taking that virtue and applying it where you want it practiced and to see how it begins to show up. Lastly, and most importantly, be your virtue. Recognize again that your virtue is just another name for your soul, for who you really are, and that may even be more who you are than your name. And when we learn to understand our virtues as a divine part of ourselves, we begin to become that much more who we are meant to be in our lives. It's so often when we're facing a challenging situation where we don't know what to do or what to say, that we get lost in that confusion. But honestly, the best response is often not to figure out what to do, but to identify that virtue that you're called to become. Show up as love in that difficult conversation. Show up honest in a situation where you don't know what decision to make. If you can't trust your virtues, what can you trust? And I know we don't believe in hell, but I would follow my virtues into hell if that's where they led me, because they've done that much for me in my life and continue to. And by being your virtue, they can do the same for you. When you commit to your virtue commits to you. And you bring forth, not to get too woo-woo, but you bring forth the divine itself. It's almost as if that's why we're here, to become aware of beauty, truth, goodness, meaning, to bring it forth in our everyday life, to see those places where it's not showing up, to practice it, and to experience the incredible transformation that takes place from that deep and wonderful gift. So taking all that now into prayer, I invite any of our prayer practitioners to stand if they so choose. Some of these lovely practitioners will be here right in front of the stage for prayer at the conclusion of service. And let us just take a moment to do our best right here and right now to let the divine in, to let Spirit behold who we are, to allow the arms of the magnificent to metaphorically be wrapped around us, to allow Spirit's hand to take our heart, break down all the defenses around it, and uplift it into all of our relationships and experiences. Identifying our virtue, committing to do our best, to not just follow it, but to be a transparent presence for what it is. I know that as we do this, we experience healing, we experience connection, we experience growth, and we allow ourselves to indeed live like we are loved, know as we are known, and see perhaps with that eye that beholds us in sacred vision, in sacred light, in sacred joy. We let it be, we let it become, and so it is. Amen.
I am here to give and receive love. I am here to give and receive. I am here to give and receive love. I am here to give and receive love. Love. I am here to give and receive love.
Beautiful, Jennifer Burnett. So we're so grateful to have you. And hey, you're involved in something special coming up, aren't you?
I am actually right over here at the Lakewood Cultural Center. I'll be doing the musical Carousel from March 17th through April 2nd on the weekend. So you've got about 12 opportunities to see it if you're interested.
Awesome. So
It's a
in
great show.
that spiritual practice of having fun, what a great thing to find someone, a fellow Mile High, and go see Jennifer in Carousel. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you to our Mile High band. I want to think we've got about 300 people watching us live right now from places like Nebraska and Tokyo. Cheryl Renee is watching us in Hawaii. We love you, Cheryl. Sing to us. We'll pretend like we're hearing you. New Mexico and all over. So we welcome everyone watching us online, and want to give thanks as we move into our time of offering today for everyone who donated to the earthquake fund to support those recovering in Syria and in Turkey. We raised well over $1,000 for that, so thank you so much. And so many people have given individual donations to help support the study groups that we're supporting in Ukraine, the Science of Mind study groups that they have out there. So we're so grateful for that, and it's just so good to be a part of a spiritual community that does big things out there in the world. And the reason why we get to do that is because of your immense generosity. So we're so grateful for you. So grateful however you choose to give your gift today. Know it is received with love and with gratitude, but we can all, wherever we are, say our offering blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
Everybody pulling me in all kinds of directions, trying to tell me what to say, how to think and feel. Truth is that every soul's continually searching. We think we know, but we got no place we call Earth. I'm a leader, I'm a rebel with an unknown plan. I'm a believer trying to figure out who I am. Who I am. Then I see you and I got nothing to hide. You're the only one who knows what's hurting inside. 'Cause you love me more than any perfect disguise. You never judge me and you never ask why. I'm a saint, I'm a sinner, I'm the sky, I'm the dirt. I'm a human trying to figure out this place we call Earth. I'm a leader, I'm a rebel with an unknown plan. I'm a believer trying to figure out who I am. Who I am. I'm a human. Maybe we're all human. I'm a saint, I'm a sinner, I'm the sky, I'm the dirt. I'm a human trying to figure out this place we call Earth. I'm a leader, I'm a rebel with an unknown plan. I'm a believer trying to figure out who I am. I'm a saint, I'm a sinner, I'm the sky, I'm the dirt. I'm a human trying to figure out this place we call Earth. I'm a leader, I'm a rebel with an unknown plan. I'm a believer trying to figure out who I am. I'm a believer trying to figure out who I am. Who I am. I'm a human. Baby, we're all human.
Thank you, Jennifer, and our entire band. I think we have figured out who you are, and you are wonderful, and thank you. Such an incredible message from Josh's heart today, too. Just a good Sunday, isn't it? And if you are visiting for the first time, Mile High Church, welcome. And out of our Welcome Center in the lobby, I'll be there, and also there's information there. And also at either exit of the lobby, there's shelves there with information. So thanks for being with us. And our practitioners are down front, and they are incredible prayers. They are the best. So if prayer is calling to you, make sure that you approach one of them for a powerful prayer.
Thank you, Patty. And I hear we still have a couple slots available for our Beyond Divorce class.
We do. Beyond Divorce starts tomorrow night, and we just almost have a full class, so we need a couple more. And it's an incredible experience. If you've talked to anyone that's ever taken it, it's so helpful. So if that calls to you, you can see me in the lobby at the Welcome Center, or you can call the Prayer Care Center in the morning. We'll get you on the list. Thanks.
Thank you, Patty. And Reverend Zamira, you've got a new member class today after church in person and tomorrow night online.
Yes, so if you have been wanting to explore membership at Mile High Church, there's no obligation to join, but we are going to have these empowerment classes where we can talk about what membership might mean for you in your life. I hope you'll join me today after the service over in the community center, and if you're going out to lunch, come tomorrow night then instead online at Zoom, and we would be so happy to welcome you there.
Thank you, Zamira. And last but not least, March 19th starts our spring renewal series that leads up to Easter, and we're going to have a small group program to go along with that. So you can go on our services page online. We have Zoom groups and then groups on campus here, and there's a table in the lobby as well you can sign up to. So with that, if you'd like, stand and we'll say a benediction together. If you like, repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, life is in my body, life is in all that I do. Thank you, life.